Hear that? That's now Crispy and McCrispy strips meeting Creamy Caesar sauce. Sounds extra crispy. Caesar sauce at McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
BYU coach is saying this is the fastest, most athletic team they have had. What does it mean for the Cougars this season?
I'm going to go Old Man Mara.
New York Giants on the? Oh, okay. Colts coach.
Yeah.
Playoffs? Aaron says, show me, don't tell me. Well, they're allowed to
have games first.
I know they're allowed to do interviews. He can't just look at. I'm not answering your question. We haven't played a game yet. That wouldn't go over very well.
Right.
But I do get your frustration, Aaron. Oh boy.
Why is there frustration?
Opening day hype frustrates people. Every team, every year.
No. It's not every year, every team. No, I disagree.
This quote comes from, we were talking to defensive coordinator Kelly Papinga. It started with you referencing conversations you had with him more than a decade ago when he left for Virginia and they found out how the other half lived. Like, you have what for facilities? You have what for money? You have what for support staff? Holy cow. BYU was in independence and they saw an ACC budget and we're like, wow. And so he was talking about how everything is different and in the NIL it's just accelerating. But he was talking facilities too. We were standing near the weight room.
Nutrition.
He pointed that out. And nutrition, sleep, science.
You have to have it all. Yeah.
He was just going down the list. And he says, and it's paying off. I think we have the biggest, strongest, fastest team here we've ever had.
A-Rod talked about it. Klein talked about the speed during his, I think it was about 12, 13 minutes that he spoke. He mentioned it. I have no problem with that. And they have told us that the Big 12 was a game changer. Brian Santiago has said that repeatedly. Mm-hmm. And so what does that mean? It's got to mean several different things. And what it needs to mean in the most important area is acquisition of talent. Right? You need that. That is a necessity. You can have the grittiest, toughest guys in the world who are walk-ons, and that's great. But you also need top-end talent. You need it all. And in order to get it all, you've got to, when you bring the young man in and his family or whoever's with him, what you show him has to minimally at least look like the other stuff that the other folks are showing him at the other places. It has to.
All that's true. And that means that what BYU needs to do is take the step forward in their fourth year now. In their fourth and fifth year here, they need to take a step forward that the Utes took in the Pac-12 when they were just getting access to what was then Power 5 level money, television appearances, a schedule of opponents that tested people, access to bowls or playoffs that excite recruits. You got to cash in on all that. You got to upgrade everything. And the Utes in year 4 and year 5 were getting bigger, faster, stronger, and winning more games. Now, it's a little apples and oranges, Power 4, Power 5 area. BYU maybe made a little bit of the transition as an independence, and it was a little bit of a bridge.
Actually, I think the throws took over. The throws of independence.
Oh, the early bridge, the early pump, but then after a while, dog days.
Yeah.
Felt a little bit like August in baseball.
Yeah.
Dog days. When do we get to it? Well, now they're getting to it.
Yeah, they needed to get out. They did what they did to go in at the time, and it was the right move, clearly the right move. They couldn't stay in the Mountain West. They had to do what they did, but it grew stale. In several reasons why Bronco left, but he was outspoken. This is not sustainable. He said it. As in classic Bronco manner, he'll tell you. You just got to pay attention to what he says. And at that point, when Kelly took off, they were in the throes of independence, and that had to end. And they thought it was going to end the next year. They got real close, but it didn't happen. And then we know when it happened, we're coming up on 4 years ago now. And so that has been the game changer that has allowed them to go after kids. And in conversations with A-Rod, Aaron Roderick, offensive coordinator, talking about how since he's been here recently, that nobody's ever said, no, don't go after this kid. We don't have a shot. Now they've got shots, and you're not going to land them all, obviously. And some kids aren't going to be interested in what BYU has to offer, and it's best that they're not interested in what BYU has to offer. But clearly, there's way more kids who are interested in what BYU has to offer now and are willing to come here and want to come here. And that has paid off in an increased level of talent. I mean, that's obvious when you look at these guys that they're bringing in. They normally didn't get those types of players, and now they are. And so for them to say this is basically only the third year of Kalani Sitake's reign, even though it's the 11th, right? Third or fourth, because they're in the Big 12 and recruiting changed. And then also, too, with the mission, so many kids go, so you have to give them an extra year or so compared to some of the other schools, certainly most of the schools in the country. So when you look at it, go fourth year, basically, since they've been in the Big 12. And I'm fine with that because they recruited to the Big 12, kids knowing they would go on missions, and when they came back, they'd be in the Big 12. Even though he's been there 11 years, you can argue this is, in a sense, the fourth year. And now's the time. The program has progressed. It's proceeded in an upward trend. And so then they tell you that. I don't see where that's frustrating. I actually think that is great because they're not saying it every year, and then they have a reason to say it now that you can trace back, and it makes sense.
Yes.
I don't think there's any but.
People,
Don't give me. You gave me a but. I'm not going to tolerate a but.
There's no. Okay. Yak stepped away for a second to do something. He just walked back in front of the window, and that look on your face, like, what just happened? I was just gone for a second. Why can't you guys?
You
just
can
eat
argue
your food?
this is his fourth year, Kalani, and since they're in the conference, even though he's been there 11 years, and it makes sense that the program has advanced. And DJ says, well, yeah, and then I knew the butt is coming, and I'm not going to hear it.
Depending on how old Aaron is, let me click on this photo.
You will not qualify your statement with a butt.
Yeah, right,
Aaron,
so I went, blah, 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 because I knew he was going to say butt.
Aaron's got to be 40. He might be, maybe he's pushing 50, whatever. So Aaron's been a fan for, 24 or 34 years, and this is the 24th or 34th time he's heard this.
That is not true.
Yes, it is.
It is not.
He's heard first day camp hype 24, 34 years. Your point is, yes, you have, but now it's different. There is a foundation that these quotes are being built on that makes sense, even if you heard it in 2018 or 2008
You did.
or
When
98,
Bronco
whatever.
took over, I was a beat guy. I guarantee you his first year, this is the biggest, strongest team BYU's ever had. Fastest. He didn't say that.
But it's not just from the coaches. You hear hype about how good a team is going to be.
Well, the coaches are the ones that matter the most. What do I give a crap for Joe Fan, who's got some anonymous Twitter handle?
Depends on the coach and their style. The coaches who downplay it. Lou Holtz and
we just
Nick
got
Saban
three.
will
I don't even.
stuff.
Who cares what they are? We're talking about BYU. You're talking about one guy who's dead and one guy who's out of coaching. Who gives a crap what they think? We're talking about Kalani Sitake and the two coordinators. All three of them said it, and you go back to Lou Holtz, who's been dead.
For 30 years, Aaron's been listening to this.
Can we live now rather than 30 years ago?
You bring your past with you, and you do it as much as anybody. That's why we hear about Jersey all the time.
Yeah, but not when it's related to sports.
Oh, come on. We're talking sports in here all the time, and you bring up Jersey all the time.
Because it's a joke.
Uh-huh. Nick says...
I don't use it to make points.
Being as they have never been an athletic team, it shouldn't be that hard to be the most athletic. Nick, downgrading BYU's athletic ability. That's a bit of a cliche, isn't it? I think
there's a bunch of white Mormon guys. Yeah. That's the whole point.
But they've obviously had athletic guys. They've sent a bunch of guys to the NFL.
Well, we're talking the
no
skill
athleticism.
positions. They don't roll out receivers. They don't roll out running backs. They don't roll out DBs. That's what we're talking about. The black guys. Can we get to the point?
And we're
rather
also
than beat around the bush because we might offend somebody because we mentioned race.
And we're also talking about you've had stars at the top, but have you had the depth to get through seasons, or do you get beat up because you don't have the second and third string guys? You got 15, 20, 25 guys at the top of the roster.
And that's
but
all
when you
in
get
the
down to
past.
35 or 40, do you have it?
They say they do.
And they say they do now
And
this
so
year.
I'm supposed to not listen to them. I'm supposed to say, well, that's cliche. I have known, I literally covered all three of these guys as players. So that means I've known them for almost 30 years as your guy that you just quoted.
On the under $3 menu at McDonald's, a McChicken is $2. Because when you're craving a McChicken, you deserve a McChicken. And now that McChicken is just $2 with McValue.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Surprise.
Wait, do I know you?
You use your Discover cashback card to earn 5% cashback on restaurants all quarter.
Yeah.
Now, it's payback time.
Whoa, hold on.
Go ahead.
Oh, you mean my Discover cashback.
I told you there'd be payback.
You know, you have a weird way of delivering good news.
I'm working on that.
Activate and earn 5% cash back at different categories each quarter on up to $1,500 in purchases.
Terms apply. See discover.com/5 for details.